So have you ever heard of guerrilla gardening? So I have a whole bunch of cuttings of elderberry here, and most towns like mine, they're kind of like a food desert. So there's not really anything growing that produces food. So with guerrilla gardening, it's kind of like chaos gardening, except you're planting these cuttings or whatever it is that you want to grow, not necessarily on your property. So they just call it guerrilla gardening. It's just for fun though. And so you could, basically walk up and down your street, sticking cuttings of whatever your favorite thing is. So you can do it with currants or grapes or elderberries, and make sure that there's good stuff growing all over. So I particularly like elderberry. People say that it's a good antiviral. I just love the flavor of it. So I don't know if it actually is an antiviral, whether or not they've proven it in the laboratory, but a lot of people like the elderberry gummies, and most people feel better when they take it. So I'm gonna plant a whole bunch of these up and down my street. It's easiest to do this with things that grow very readily from cuttings. And it's a little windy, so I'm hoping that doesn't pick up at the mic. But things like elderberry, they root pretty easy, and you just pretty much stick them in the ground. My ground's kind of hard here, so I'm gonna grab my shovel. All right, so we gotta get some of these in the ground before anyone sees us. Just kidding, no one's gonna care. All right, so elderberry cutting. I pushed a gardening spade into the ground to push this in easier. And I usually like to get it down until a bud is flush to the ground. Pretty much the same for currants or shastaberry or grape or elderberry or I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but pretty much anything that very readily grows from cuttings, you just pop them in the ground just like that. Let's take another one. If the ground's too soft, I kind of like to push it up against it. So soil contact with the cutting is usually what promotes that rooting, so you want to make sure that happens. And since I have so many of these, it's probably not a big deal if a few of these don't root, but elderberry is one of those things you'll get 90+% yield if you do it at the right time of the year. So I'm doing it late January. Depends on your zone, but I think late January, early February is probably a pretty safe time to do it. You can try it any time of the year, but I found the most benefit by doing it late winter, early spring. So I guess my point of this video is take cuttings of your favorite thing that you like growing in your yard. If you don't have much space, there's probably tons of space around your town that you can grow that thing. There's areas of your town that just have random stuff growing. Add to that randomness. Pick something that's not invasive, of course, but something that grows berries, blackberries, which can be invasive, raspberries, jostaberries, currants, like I said, elderberry, and lots of other things that I can't think of off the top of my head. So have a lot of fun, get some food growing around you. Thanks for joining me in the chaos.